Hey folks, over the last few weeks, a lot of people have expressed interest in what sort of loot to expect running a high corruption CoF character. As of right now, I'm currently at 2300 corruption with rank 10 CoF, and I'll be going over all the different items in my stash and also my current character. So just a quick overview. This is my current Frostclaw character. You can see all the stuff that I farmed with CoF. There's a lot of pretty good stuff in here, mostly at least double good affixes. We have Static Shell, the Ladle, Enigma, Prismatic Gaze, Decent Amulet, the Int Red Rings, 2 of those, T7 Slammed Belt, double T7 Weaver Gloves, T7 Int Boots, and the double prefix Twisted Heart. So jumping into the stash real quick, I currently have, we'll see here real quick, 138 stash tabs, and of that, a pretty good amount are dedicated to dump tabs. So as I get loot, I just dump them in here and then I organize them all at once because it's much quicker dropping items in one by one. So let's kick it off with the exciting stuff first. We'll jump right to the 4LP items, and unfortunately we actually don't even have that many. This is all I've dropped so far for 4LPs in quite a lot of prophecies, quite a lot of echoes, and yeah, they're just pretty rare. And even for ones that aren't that great, you still don't end up with that many. But on the plus side, we'll go into 3LPs and you'll see that there are quite a few. So these are all of my 3LP rings. You can see there's a lot. All these third eyes, all these tongue things, the sun wreaths, the finger rings. Yeah, so quite a few 3LP rings here. This is mostly just while I was farming red rings, probably spending millions of favor. And while doing that, you just end up with a lot of 3LPs. And also here, we have some more 3LPs, nothing super exciting. Most of the 3LPs I do actually pick up, very few I leave on the ground, even if I'm not going to use them, just for collector's sake. So 3LP relics here, catalysts, belts, shields. And then for weapons, we have more of the same here. This is mostly not stuff I'm actually target farming. So I generally focus on armor pieces and rings and stuff like that. So these are just mostly random drops, minus the daggers. I did do a little bit of targeting. So there's a few Valkor knives, a few claws. And then for the armor, I do a fair bit of armor targeting with prophecies. There's quite a few gloves, boots, helms here, and chests. I've done a fair bit of targeting on that specifically. You can see a lot of these Urzils, bunch of other ones. Some of them are not bad. Titan Heart's pretty good with a pretty decent roll on this. This might actually be interesting for a build. Criterion, it's another fairly rare 3LP, pretty good. And we also have a lot of Kestrels. I'll probably never use these. I have 4LPs anyway, so whatever. And then some runes. Then jumping over to the 2LPs, I've separated it by type because I find I just end up scrolling too much within the top bar. If I want to add a new tab or move it around, it's just a complete pain, so that's why I've split it out. We'll start off with the weapons. So here's all the daggers. Yeah, as I said, I did a lot of dagger prophecies, so there's quite a few. Then swords and maces, I've not done any prophecies for these. There's a lot less. Not much exciting here. This is what you expect from just normal drops. Then axes, same thing. I haven't targeted these. These are mostly just normal drops. Then casters, all the 2LP ladles. It's really hard to target these as CoF because it's the mage only drop. You don't get these from prophecies. So these are just the normal drops. And for context, this is how many runes of research. So I probably killed close to maybe 1,500 to 2,000 mages on this character, or I guess on this cycle in general. And that's all I have for ladles. for those 2 LPs, and in total I've dropped 2 3 LP ladles and no 4 LP ladles. So it's pretty rough out here. Bows, same thing, nothing exciting here. These are just random drops. Maces, same thing, random drops. Spears, staves. I did a lot of Reign of Dragons farming, so you see a bunch of these dragon flames. Those are mostly from actually exclusively from that boss. Then for swords, nothing exciting here. And same thing for axes. Then on to belts. A lot of these I don't pick up anymore because I just have way too many. All the 2 LP belts. The only thing interesting here is probably the Jungle Queen. Then boots. These are pretty good slam candidates for my instacking build. These 2 LPs here. There's a bunch of snowdrifts, some dragon boots, some other stuff. Not really a whole lot interesting here for boots. And gloves. Nothing super interesting. Chest pieces, I've done a lot of farming, so you can see some fairly rare stuff here. 2 LP Aaron's Will, this is pretty rare. The Prism Wraps, these are also pretty S tier chest piece. Hard to get with 2 LP. Criterions, we have a lot of these. Sanguinuses, these drop a lot. Unfortunately, no 3 LPs. Stable cores, I've slammed a bunch. And a few more here. A lot of these I don't pick up anymore because I just have way too many. Like Titan Hearts, I don't really pick up these 2 LP and all that stuff, even though they're probably worth picking up. And helms, we have a bunch of Crest of Unities because I do helm prophecies. And then bar boots, you can see there's quite a lot of 2 LPs here. And then some more. A lot of these I don't pick up anymore. Then on to relics, nothing super exciting here. I don't generally target these because the heart is a boss exclusive. It's the only thing I need for my build, so these are mostly just normal drops. Same for catalysts, I did a little bit of enigma farming. The rest of these are normal drops. Then amulets, I haven't targeted these, so generally normal drops. Rings I did target, and most of these I do not pick up anymore. So the only ones here are ones that are slightly higher LP level, a little bit more rare. The siphons are shade drops. Assyrians are pretty rare to get 2 LP, so I've kept these. And then these are boss drops here. For quivers, there's nothing exciting here. I don't target these. Same with shields. I will note that the Horns of Ukros is actually, I believe, LP level 100. So this is probably my rarest drop, even though it's not very exciting. Then some more shields. On to 1 LPs, we have a bunch of these apathies, but still no 2 LP. Pretty unlucky. For the swords, there's nothing very exciting here. A lot of staffs. A lot of spears. Bunch of maces here. Bows. Casters. I don't pick up these ladles anymore. These are just ones I've had. I probably need to clean some of this out. Wrong orbs are pretty fun. Might end up doing a build with that. Then axes. A lot of these I don't pick up anymore. Most 1 LPs I don't. I just leave on the ground. And swords. More swords. Some of the rarer daggers I keep as 1 LP. Then on to belts. It's mostly just the rarer belts. These are the drop from Abomination. 1 LP is somewhat rare-ish, not that rare. This is the Orbis drop, Jungle Queen, and the Soulfire drop. Ever boots. We mostly have perfect roll here's for the Exile, 12 int. Otherwise I wouldn't slam it anyway. And then 11 and 12 ints on Telfoon. Moving on, we have more boots here. Some stymied fates. We've done quite a few shades. Done maybe a few of the ice boss, Ice Lich. Not very many. One shackle here. And then a bunch of other gloves. Some of these I've just kept the high rolls at this point. More gloves. Chests, I probably need to dump these because I have too many 2LPs. And more chests here. A lot of Aaron's Will. Only keeping the max crit chance roll on these because otherwise they're not useful. One Fractured Crown. Some other stuff. And the relics, these are all 1LP Twisted Hearts. So I've done quite a few of the dragon bosses, which is how I got the 2LP in the first place. Then some more relics. Catalyst. Amulets. I've slammed a couple 1LP Omnis. These are pretty hard to get for CoF. And a couple LP Time Glass. Then for rings, we have a lot of LP Osirians. I kept these because they're somewhat rare. And quivers. Shields, we have LP Bastion of Honor, which used to be a pretty chase item at one point. And some of these Ray's Shield, which are also somewhat valued. 1LP weapons. Or actually, sorry, these are 0LP. So yeah, you can see all of the red rings that I've dropped while I was farming up my LP ones. I think there's something like 34 or 36 in total. Then the Omnis, Bastions of Honor, some high roll Twisted Hearts that I keep to swap into a new build. Some Aaron's Will, some Ravenous Voids. Then here's my Weaver. I mostly keep high Weavers, so here you can see 23, and I think everything here is at least 17. Then for rings, I think everything here is at least maybe 19. All these I think are at least 19. I have a couple 23s here. Then for my legendaries, we have our T7 Int Twisted Heart we were using earlier. T6 Frostclaw, because I failed all my T4s. Or all my T7s. We have a T7 Profane Veil I was using on my Warlock. Crit multi crit cast speed. T7 crit chance on the Apathy Maw. Crit multi cast speed Ladle. Crit multi Ghostmaker. Yeah, so these are all of the good slams. Here's a almost perfect double prefix Bone Clamor. This was a really, really lucky slam with the 13 int. And we have a T7 int Osirian and a T7 int Jolras. And on to the failed slams. You can see these are all the ones that didn't work out. So a bunch of Bloods of the Exile, some 2LPs here, Core of the Mountain. I was trying to get T7 int. This would have been pretty nice to have. Bunch of Twisted Hearts, some Cores of the Mountain, a couple 2LP bricks here, some 2LP brick Enigmas, some Smoke Weavers, Red Ring, and some other stuff, and Omnis. I have another bricked Omnis somewhere. And these are the Exalt candidates that are ready to be slammed. And these are the uniques ready to go. Some 2LP static shells. Some of these are low roll, so probably not slammable. 3LP Enigma, 2LP Twisted Hearts. These are pretty rare. If you're not familiar with Reign of Dragons, dropping 2LP does not happen very often. So having 3 is pretty fortunate. 2LP Blood of the Exiles. and 2 LP Prismatic Gaze. Probably won't slam these because it's only 3% crit chance, but it's okay. Then for the Mage, we have our other Omnis that we slammed. This one was a Brick, T5 Armor Shred. And we have our free swap gear for stun locking Orbis, bunch of random gear to swap in, bunch of idols here. Nothing really exciting, a lot of Frostclaw stuff. Helms, a bunch of T7 affixes, some things that I could use to slam. More of the same. Here's a bunch more, generally T7 affixes that could be slam candidates. A lot of my int ones I've already used. Then relics. Among all of these, I don't think there's any T7 Frostclaws. Not that I am interested in slamming anyway, but just to show how rare they are. Then onto my Exalts. We have multi T7s. These are all Exalts with at least one T7 roll and multiple Exalted affixes. So there's some good stuff in here. A lot of it's just not that exciting. Then we have T7 with decent affixes on the two-hand axe mace. Same for the staff sword spear, mace, axe, and then wand. It's mostly just like cast speed, crit multi. Same for swords, scepters. And then the same for exalted armor. These are the double exalts with a T7. Then belts, T7s. Move speed base boots, T7. Then all T7 affix boots here. A lot of them are attributes. And more of the same here. I separate by move speed to make it so that I can search, because otherwise it'll always just show up with move speed. And here's a bunch more boots. More boots. Same for gloves. And again. And here we have the general exalted items. More T7 multi-exalt. Then a bunch of T6 with multiple exalts. These are generally at least one useful affix. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't pick them up. Then some random leveling items. Shield and Quiver, relics, catalysts. All the pink tabs are exclusively T7. Then amulets, rings. Then for our general tab, random lenses. I have at least one of every set. Then we have experimentals. So this is boots. Generally somewhat picky, mostly keep haste and frenzy. Some belts here. And all of these are exalted. And then same with gloves, all of these are exalted. A few different experimentals that I care about. Most of them I don't. Then keys. All the stout idols. So these are all health and resist. These are all double health. These are perfect double healths. Then these are my other idols. So we have resist here. It's all poison. It's all fizz. Necrotic and void. These are armor, res, some of them are mana, some of them are ward retention, and these are double defense, and some res, and then all of these are dump tabs. And at the bottom, it's not much exciting here. My other classes, we have Acolyte stuff here, these are all T7s, and then idols. Rogue stuff, exalts, and idols. And Sentinel, I haven't made one this cycle, so there's not much here. And same with Primalist. So yeah, that's pretty much it. for the stash drawer. Hope this is what you guys were looking for. And if you're interested in seeing the stash organization, I made a guide on how to set up your stash to be somewhat clean looking, hopefully like mine. So, cheers.